very, very important to sensitize the community members, the students, so that the students can tomorrow turn to be trainers at the community level, because it's very important to know what hemophilia is. A lot of awareness has already been done by many partners, but still, like when you talk about hemophilia, there are a lot of people with a lot of inhibitions, there's a lot of stigma, there are a lot of stereotypes. So we are very thankful to Intas Foundation for coming to the department and collaborating on this very important activity. Hemophilia is a genetic bleeding disorder, and it's a basically deficiency of the clotting factor in the blood due to the mutation of either of the two factors. I will not go into the medical side of hemophilia, but I know that it impacts the overall well-being of the individual, it impacts the family. It not only impacts your livelihood, it impacts your psyche. You are not able to make others understand what you are going through, because it's a disorder which normally people are not able to express to others. And we have seen how many students miss their school days because they are suffering from hemophilia. We have seen many people leaving their workplaces because they face this issue. So once we talk about hemophilia, its prevention, its management, we need to understand that a proper strategy needs to be done right from the very beginning. When you identify a person, providing them the proper care providers, giving them proper referrals. But what about the other psychosocial dimensions which are related to it? Like there should be a counseling, there should be psychotherapists, there should be various other people related to this so that they can work as a team. And in many cases, once these persons living with hemophilia, when they come back to the home, when they come from a particular clinic, it needs a proper case management, and where the students like social workers, the students from the Department of Gender Studies, the students from the field of psychology, sociology, they can all work together because it's a team approach. It doesn't need only one particular aspect. We need fundraisers for them. We need awareness for them. We need people who can have a policy discussion on what kind of facilities and schemes we have for them. Because we normally talk about many disorders. We talk about mental health. We talk about many other issues, but we neglect hemophilia. And we do not discuss it oftenly, and that's why even in our own department, one of the research supervisors is supervising a PhD thesis on the psychosocial experiences of persons who are suffering from hemophilia. So today we have come here to spread the awareness among you, and the awareness should not remain here only. We want you to have that capability of identifying. Can you identify, because it's very important that many a times a school teacher or an Anganwadi worker or an ASHA worker can also identify that a particular student has hemophilia. So awareness from the grassroots can be taken up with higher levels. So it means the referral can happen from the rural areas and we can go to the urban areas.
It's a very rare disease, and when you don't know about the disease, it has been said that when the mind doesn't know, eyes cannot see. So the thing is that if you know the subject, then something comes to you, then you can think of that thing also. So that is important to of this program, that we want to make much of the awareness regarding the disease, so that the people, the students of the different regions, of the different communities, they go and they just see at their level to generate the awareness among the people, because we have seen that many people have there is some spiritual things that that this is something curse from the god. Some people think like that. So there are so many those misbeliefs, because in the current scientific era, today is the evidence-based medicine. What you say that unless until you have evidence regarding that any sort of disease or diagnosis, so the doctor will not treat. unless until you have a diagnosis of any thing like hemophilia. I'll say he's a hemophilia unless it is documented by lab test or by some other test. So the doctor will not treat. And even the clinical symptoms are very important. I mean, when the patient comes to the doctor, but if he doesn't have the awareness regarding the hemophilia, he will not be able to give him the investigation for go for these tests, and so that he will be diagnosed for that. So that is why the this program is very important. I will be discussing in my lecture about what are the things, what is hemophilia, and how we can diagnose it early. What are the various challenges we face? What are the various complications these patients face in their lifetime? And rather, in the current era, it has been now said as a disease. I mean, it is not a disease, because just like you have obesity, you have hypertension, you have diabetes, you have other malignancies. So those are called as diseases. But in hemophilia, it has been said it is not a disease because it is a genetic insult. So whenever a gene gets mutated, so it is a genetic bleeding disorder, and when the normal protein which is in your blood is not present, you have to replace. Like in diabetes, you have insulin is deficient, you are replacing with insulin, right? So similarly, in case of the hemophilia, when there is deficiency of clotting factor, any factor, that is factor 8, factor 9, and any other factor, so if you replace it, he will be as right as a non-hemophilic. So that is a replacement therapy, what we call as a current thing. So that is why these persons are called as persons with hemophilia, PWH, not as a patients, right? So that is very important. You don't label them as a diseased person. So they are of a different nature has given. We are lucky that our gene is healthy, and they are unlucky in a sense that their gene is not producing that protein, and that is why they are suffering from the bleeding disorder. So thank you for all for the invitation, and I hope that this audience will be a good a good resource for generating the awareness at different. I think that many people belong to the different parts of our society, and they will just get some sort of this knowledge about the disease, and just make aware at the doorsteps of their own communities at their own level.
At the very outset, I would like to congratulate the Department of Social Work, particularly the head and her team, for taking this very important initiative by organizing a workshop, an awareness workshop on hemophilia. And I know this department is a very active department, and it has been actively organizing many such programs, and I am quite hopeful they will continue to organize much more programs of this nature. Let me also thank the INTAS. We know INTAS is doing a very excellent work, and we hope that INTAS will continue to cooperate and associate with the university, and I assure the INTAS that we will be always ready to join hands with you in your great mission of serving the society. So far as this workshop is concerned, and this workshop has been organized, when I was looking at the objectives, it has really a very meaningful objectives. At times in the academic institutions, we organize number of academic activities. Some are really very important, some are important, some may not have that relevant objectives and the goals. When I was looking at the objectives of this very important program, believe me, I was very happy. I was so happy, and because what we actually are, whatever education that we get from our society, from the institution, and tomorrow we are going to settle here or there, then ultimately everyone has to contribute to the greater social cause. The greater social cause is the well-being of the society. And here, one of the very important objectives is, to promote empathy. And what is very important is the empathy, sympathy and empathy. So we should always have the empathy for those who suffer from certain weaknesses or certain disorders or certain issues. And the other very important objective, and I was looking at this very important, that establish a community support system. And we are expecting once this workshop will happen, the students will have a lot of understanding about this disorder, and they will, educate, they will aware their own near and dear ones. And it has a multiplier effect. When you talk to another, they talk to another, they talk to another, because every movement has a beginning from a small group, then it takes a larger canvas. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that all over the world, including in our state, we have progressed on the economic front. It's a great thing, because every society, every country, every state has the objective to achieve the all-round development, and the most important development is the economic prosperity. There has been a great, progress when it comes to the economic prosperity of our people. And because of the economic prosperity, we know the standard of living has changed. And this economic prosperity has transformed our lifestyles. It has transformed our lifestyles. It has transformed, our food habits. It has also transformed our social structure. Today we talk about the lifestyle diseases, and I call them the new age diseases. These are the new age diseases. Diabetes, if I was looking at the statistics, diabetes, I am myself and suffering from a diabetes. And now the diabetes, because there is some estimate that around 40% of the population in the country suffer from the diabetes. And this is a silent killer. And is a very, very serious disease. Similarly, now another very important, lifestyle disease is catching up here in the Kashmir. That is the obesity. And young population are becoming now very obese. And hypertension, if you see hypertension, if you go to every home, हर एक के कोने में वहाँ जो बैठता है, वहाँ दवाई का एक बहुत बड़ा डब्बा होता है, उसमें हाइपरटेंशन की भी एक दवाई होती है. Now COPD is also again, and women are getting more affected because of the environmental pollution, and that is one of the causes. And because this environmental pollution is because of the economic prosperity also. And one of the causes is the economic prosperity, heart diseases, cancer, I said, is again. Now, and then you have another very important I was looking at, this is a new status coming up, that is the air infections. Because we are using extensive earphones. Earphones are being extensively used. It's causing an air, infection. And the most important, which is very much worrying for all of us, is the drug addiction. And today, what I have been told, that our young, boys and girls, even girls, are now getting addicted to drug. And this is a very serious challenge for all of us. And we all need to come, unite together, have a mission of, fighting this drug menace among our young population. Now see here, so far as we all know, actually why these lifestyle diseases. The fact of the matter is, we all failed. We all have failed. As an individual, we have failed. I could not, even though I am very much educated, I am not able to balance my, family life and the work life, or my health, or my work life, because I have failed as a society. We have failed. Society has not been, taking initiatives, and we have a very strong social structure in the Kashmir, because mosques are a very important social structure, which could have taken a lead at the local area to conduct a number of awareness programs. And institutions have failed. And the fraternities have failed, who have a greater responsibility to, educate people, to take necessary steps to, to mitigate such health hazards. And we all know why this is happening. Lifestyle diseases are not only because we just ignore our health. This is also because of ignorance. We don't have a health education. We don't have an health education. Let me tell you very frankly, when I was long back in 2006 or 7, one day I was feeling a little bit headache. At that point of time, 2006, I became a head of department. I was devoting every time to my department. I was having a little bit headache. One day I went to the Khyber and Professor Bashir Saab is, Professor Nyaiku Saab there. उसने कहा ज़रा पहले ब्लड प्रेशर चेक कर लो. तो आई हैड नो सिम्टम नथिंग. उसने कहा तो आपका तो ब्लड प्रेशर है. एंड जो लड़की उसने जो मुझे चेक किया, 4 बार उसने चेक किया. उसने कहा मतलब आपको कोई कुछ ऐसा लग रहा है? मैंने कहा कुछ भी नहीं है. एंड मगर मुझे, लेट मी टेल यू, गिव मी माई ओन एग्जाम्पल, मुझे पूरी हेल्थ एजुकेशन नहीं थी. I was not knowing that what will be the serious ramifications of my change in the lifestyle. I was not doing physical work. I was not doing everyday morning walks. अगर मुझे पता होता अब, then once I got all these diseases, I came to know. Today I try to get a time, go to the gym and at least devote 1 hour there. But now ये तो बहुत late हुआ है. Now since then I have been on. So that is one very important, that there has been no focus on health education. जब मैंने पढ़ा मुझे सिर्फ कॉमर्स पढ़ाया गया. And I have never seen in my course curriculum a course on health and wellness. Now we have introduced one, whether we call it an ability enhancement or value added course, I don't know very well. We have now health and wellness. But what I propose that it should become a compulsory course for all, because that is very important. That is very, very important. Health and wellness is very important. Everybody should have an education about health and other things. The other very important is the role failure of the medical fraternity, and it is the responsibility of the medical fraternity, who are the experts in the field, to come up with the programs and very sustained programs for the education of the masses. And what I'm suggesting now, do you know the statistics about how much the government is spending on the health, about that, the reimbursement, medical expenditure reimbursement? It is crores and crores of rupees. But we all know prevention is better than cure. And we all know early detection is all the more important for having a complete cure. We all know that. And we know it in the modern societies. Now there is a habit and a culture of having the regular medical checkups, periodical medical checkups. So means you pick up the signals at a very early you pick up the signals. So when you pick up the signals, then immediately the cure becomes easy. And I said the other very important is that there has to be a sustained awareness program. There has not to be a one-off program like this. There has to be a sustained programs. Now see what is the irony. Here I have a young generation. If I tell them about their own health, the health education, majority of them must be knowing very, very little. But if I tell them about the Bollywood, everybody must be knowing about the Bollywood. If I tell them about the cricket world, they must be knowing everything about the cricket world. And if I tell them, about their immediate society, what are the very, the serious challenges with our societies, perhaps most of them may not be aware. Why? It is not their fault. I did not provide them an awareness. I did not provide them an opportunity to remain updated about it. So we need to have many more such programs.